Zooming in. Don't want to get political. Didn't want to get political. Don't typically talk politics on my personal page. 1 out of 25 posts. 1 out of 25 posts are political. It's about that average. Today, it's going to be political. I want to have the discussion because I am in rant mode. I think that we have a complete fundamental inability to see how we communicate with others. It's not all from the left. It's not. There are people on the right that are ignorant. And then there is a large body from the left that can't see past their own feet and their own hate for the current administration to realize how indecent they are being to other individuals. Sorry, this is not, I try not to. I didn't want to, but that's where we're at. I want to really quick also. There was somebody suggested a great Bible verse for yesterday's. If you watched yesterday's Daily Truth, first off, like this video, share this video, do all said things with this video. Please in the comments, put what made you smile today. So I'm asking you, what made you smile today, this morning? What made me smile was Junebug. I have not given the update on June. She is doing phenomenal. She's deep into the prednisone, but whatever. She's literally like 90%. She's doing amazing. It's a toll on the wallet, but that watching her chase grasshoppers makes me smile. That's what she does. So put in the comments what made you smile today. That's what I'm asking of all of you guys. So with that said, I got to look at a story apparently on Facebook, but real quick, yesterday I had the whole, how do we deal with grief in the face of wanting to have faith, and how could God do something like what he's doing in the floods? Now over 100 people have been found deceased in what is one of the biggest American tragedies in terms of flash flooding ever. Proverbs, what was it? Proverbs 6. Hey, of course, a spam call like always. Oh, I'm in a mood. Bum. Let me see. Where'd it go? Dang it, Kelly. Hold on. It is Proverbs 16:4. Proverbs 16:4, 1-4. To humans belong the plans of the heart, but from the Lord comes to the proper answer of the tongue. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Here it comes. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. The Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the wicked for a day of disaster. Another passage that could help bring solace to what is going on. All right, again, let's see some comments. I see about 35 people watching right now on the X platform as well as on Facebook. So I'm going to get into it right after I say go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. Make sure you're following me there. All the links to all the different things I do, from the Make Wellness Bioprecision Peptides. There is a special today. I'll go ahead and post it at one point. I'm doing really bad on checking in, but on that, there is a discount code at the end that will hook you up with like $200 for the metabolic system process, which is quite a bit off if you subscribe and save. And I'm not finding it quickly, so I'm not. Oh, there it is. Nope, still not finding it quickly. I suck at this today. Anyways, like this video, share this video, do all the things of this video. And lastly, join my free speaking workshop on Wednesday night. All you got to do is go to doubledownspeaking.com to register. All right, let me get right into this, because I'm piping hot, piping mad on this one. It's interesting. I've had a few conversations in the last few weeks from people on the opposite side that will say, I don't condone judgment of people on one side to the other. I don't condone how the far left destroys those that are on the right, but then goes on to say the bulk of these people are living and rooted in hate just because of who they voted for. And look, and this one of these started out because of my post regarding the questions of cloud seeding. And if you want my honest opinion right now, I think it's much more than cloud seeding. I think that there was a perfect storm going on. And all I was saying is, can we question the idea of playing God at this point? And I didn't even say that the intentions of the guy from Rainmaker were bad, but all of a sudden it turned into a political discussion. Ironically enough, when that wasn't the conversation, I was simply saying, it's being admitted that there's cloud seeding now. That's it. And it's been a taboo topic. And look, my TikTok for that video had 30,000 views and then was shut off. If anybody watched that 7-minute video that I put on a bunch of different pages, which I think on Instagram now has almost 1 million views, it was very much just how to have faith. The question of, are we playing God? Could there have been a role? I don't think anybody's nefarious, and yet it was shut down by TikTok. Very weird to say that. And then it was brought back after I fought it, but it will not recommend it to people. So again, my conversation was not rooted in politics. It was rooted in, finally, it's being admitted that what's been going on for 60 years is happening, which is cloud seeding. I think we should have some questions. Do we truly know? Can we confirm without shadow of a doubt that it's got nothing to do with it? That's it. Then it turned into a political discussion. A friend of mine, Anthony Gustavo, he asked a question. It was fair. He said, well, what about the budget cuts under Trump? And ultimately, it was a Doge cut. Fact is, that's being propagated by left-wing media. Propagated that because of Trump cutting budgets, that all of a sudden there was not enough people in place to properly predict these storms. It's false. There's the actual truth is there is one person that is not in the forecasting area. There's one position that is no longer there. If you can't operate an already probably inefficient workplace with one person gone, and it's not like that was their shift. It's not like somebody wasn't there because it was their shift. It's just there's one less person working in that department. What happens if they call in sick? I'm sure there's plenty of people to fill these positions, and everybody, once they ask the question, like, did budget cuts play a role? It could have. The next sentence typically is, I don't see how to prove that it was an issue in this case, yet it's being completely spread by the mainstream media and left wing, and then the people that are individuals like us saying, how dare you caused this. Like, what? Like, really? First off, my post had nothing to do with politics. And if you want to bring it in, I'm going to dance, because I know that if I discuss politics from my perspective to you, if I project the same way that some of these people have projected to me, I risk my career, I risk my job. It's already happened just by speaking my truth. If I were to attack somebody the same way that some of these people are, that are friends, but have a difference in opinion, there would be a massive issue at the workplace. But I'm an adult. I'm a mature adult that can conduct business in a way where it is what it is. I'm still your friend in real life. But when you come on to people's comments and pages or direct messages, and honestly, this one I didn't expect. I didn't expect the most recent one. The one before that is somebody that always challenges me. And then there's little ones that pop up here and there. And respect to Anthony Gustavo, who put in the comments, he really was just asking an honest question, and we went back and forth, and that's where the other conversation started. But it devolved in chat where so some of the comments is we just tremendously differ on the current administration, and kept saying, like, don't challenge the MAGA side. I'm not MAGA. Like, I should specify. Based on the definition of MAGA, yes, I am a Trump voter. Oh my God, if you're watching this, I apologize. I'm a Trump voter. What can I say? It's half of the electorate is a Trump voter. There is a lot of things I can speak to what I believe he is doing wrong. This whole situation, I will be on the record saying the situation where we are not talking about the Epstein list, and all of a sudden this list disappeared, I think is what I voted for was that being released. That upsets me greatly. Do I think I know why? Yeah, because everybody's on it. And I think it would break the systems down. Do you want my honest truth? Break the damn systems down. Break it all down. I don't care. At this point, breaking the systems, I think it's a global situation of just sickness and depravity. Break it all down. Republicans, Democrats, I don't care. I'm a lifelong Democrat that became a Republican somewhere around 2013, 2014, Republican voter. I'm actually a fan of Elon starting a third party, which will tee off a lot of the people that are typically on my political side. I've been wanting a powerful third party that is not the libertarian movement, because I think that it's been bogarted by a little bit of weirdness. But like, I've been somebody that has wanted a third party for a long time. I don't care who it comes from. And honestly, the person that it comes from, I respect. He doesn't always do the right and say the right things, but who does? Trump doesn't. And trust me, the people that are judging, I kind of want to go through some of the statements made, because it is such a brain fog, not realizing how cruel you are, how rude you are being, how mean you are being to a fellow human that is a friend. And this is I'm picking out this conversation, but it's a microcosm for what I've dealt with. Loss of friendships, being completely blacklisted by companies just because I didn't believe in that thing, and I didn't agree with a lot of the George Floyd narrative, like all these things. And then all of a sudden, I don't get work. I lose friends just because I have a different voting belief, and I'm vocal about it and why. And none of my words are rooted in hate. It's like, well, let's look at this. There's a really high fentanyl content. I don't like what the cop did, but I think they're there. I don't think George Floyd's a hero. Or, hey, this is an experimental something that doesn't really make sense the way it's being pushed. Why are we not allowing the other alternative things? Oh, because you need emergency use authorization. I'm questioning things. It's fair to question things. And when you tell me that's not fair and it affects my livelihood, it's painful. And I've been told, as I've been trying to become more of a speaker, thought leader, speaking coach. And what's interesting is I know the people that come to my classes are from all different political backgrounds, and it doesn't matter because I am so middle ground. I am the true middle ground. You want my honest truth? And I know this might tee off some of the people that are on the right wing of my following. I don't care. I don't. I'm pro. Well, it's what's interesting is most people on my side are pro gay marriage as well. Pro gay marriage. If you want to be trans, be trans. I don't care. Stay away from children. Very simple. From the pro-choice, pro-life argument, I'm pro-life in my own life. From a legislative perspective, I don't believe within reason that I would be opposed to pro-choice as long as it's somewhere in the middle. Constitutionally, I don't think religion should play a role in the decision. Scientifically, there's questions. So I am truly a middle ground person. I was a huge RFK supporter who is technically originally a Democrat. I have several liberal beliefs. I still consider myself a constitutional liberal, but then I'm being demonized as somebody that is far right. When I work at certain things, there's people that make political jokes from the left that I find funny. Humor can be funny if it's executed correctly, even it opposes my belief. Whereas the other side will find so much disdain and so much anger and so much frustration just by me saying, yeah, I voted for Trump. Oh my God. The disgust. I'm disgusted by people in many ways that can't allow that. Here's the thing. Own it. If you're going to be so hateful to somebody because they voted for Orange Man, if you're going to be so hateful, then admit that you're hateful. Admit that it doesn't matter how you feel about the individual. You only matter about their political belief. Be honest. If somebody came to me as a far leftist, as a Kamala voter, as a whatever, I'd say, why? What's your thing? And we'd have an honest dialogue, and I'll challenge their dialogue. I will. I'm not going to challenge who they are as a person until they flip the conversation, not willing to state any reasons or facts and just say, well, because it's disgusting anybody that would vote the other way. Then we have no purpose on having a continued conversation. You've already stated the ground. But if you believe something different than me in a free and fair America, who am I to judge? We all have different reasons, backgrounds, come froms, all of us. So who are you to judge? Who am I to judge? So I'm going to really quick. I'm way over on my typical time on this, but I kept stressing that I was trying to just have a conversation about the tragedies happening in Texas. I was bringing up a little bit about the fact of cloud seeding. I was bringing up faith. It wasn't about politics. Cloud seeding is not political. It is a fact that it is happening. The question becomes, is it happening on a scale that could affect weather? And I don't know. I really don't. And honestly, after watching this Augustus guy, I think that he is altruistic in his beliefs, that he is helping and trying to do the right thing. I do. Now, do I think everybody is? No, I don't. I like the comments that I'm seeing right now. There's a lot, but I'll try to get back to them at the very end. So, And trust me, I'm not a huge fan of everything Trump is doing. Do I think he was the right choice at this point? Still, yes. Still, yes. But there's a lot of lies being put out there about like some of the comments near the end where I finally just ended it. Like, this is a quote from this individual, which is stated as a fact when it's not only sometimes wrong, but I blame Trump. Again, saying that he's like, I'm not talking about you per se. I'm just saying, this is Trump. I'm not talking about Trump voters. But then he goes to say, I blame Trump for creating this division, the division that literally his words to me are creating. And again, I'm using this because it's the most recent conversation. It's happened a lot over the last several years, but I blame Trump for creating this division and pandering to his audience that wants to be okay with the N-word in public. So you just said you're not demonizing the audience. You're not demonizing his voters, but the audience that wants to be okay with the N-word in public. And by the way, I screenshotted all of the posts and all of it because I know that in the career that I have, somebody I work with in person, I will hug this individual. I will love this individual. I will enjoy working with them. This is somebody that I consider a friend, but to come at me this way creates a lot of frustration. But to make sure that I have everything on record, like I don't know anybody with a civil brain can't read that I was just trying to diffuse the conversation over and over and saying, like, this isn't political. So it was important for me to do that. So I blame Trump for creating this and pandering to an audience that wants to be okay with using the N-word in public or calling people the gay slur that starts with an F. Still, which again, okay. Where is this? Or removing healthcare for same-sex marriages. In what world is this a thing? It's factually wrong. Factually, a completely false, ridiculous statement. And then removing healthcare for trans people, which there is some bills that have some questions on how it's treated, meaning they have to be treated by their sex at birth. I mean, sorry, that's to me scientifically probably the best way to handle it, but what have you. And also, I don't believe in paying for somebody's sex changes. So I will agree that I'm with Trump on that one. And with that movement, he has been the biggest force for division. There is zero debate about that. When you end a sentence with "there is zero debate about that," when you stated several falsehoods, that is actually the biggest force for division. Falsity, false statements, standing so hard in opinion, not rooted in any fact, is the arbiter of division. I'll even say what I said. I'll go to this. This is gonna be a long one. I'll try to end it in. Where are we at? We're at 18 minutes. Give me 3 minutes to finish. I'm not missing the point. He said somewhere along the lines, I'm missing the point. Trump is a shitty person. But I had just said I could care less if somebody disagrees with me. I'll debate, give my opinions. End of the day, as long as there isn't a personal attacks, I can leave that behind me. We're allowed to have different beliefs. To which he said, I continued. He said, I'm missing the point. Where did I originally say that to? No, Trump is the crappy person. You're missing the point. Human decency has gone out the window for this administration for 10 years. They love ignorance and blatant racism, sexism, discrimination as a whole. They're a large portion of their voting population. You obviously don't fall into these categories. So essentially saying, it's not me, even though he attacked on the page about saying, like, don't challenge any of his MAGA beliefs. You obviously don't fall into these categories, but there is a large sect that does. So when the far left Dems, which I don't condone either, attacks a Trump voter online, they're just falling in line with what Trump has always ran on, which is division. The media has said that Trump runs on division. I don't see where. He's never has he ever talked poorly about the electorate, about the voter. The Democrats do, which is part of the reason I've shifted, and that's part of the reason why I have my belief system. Democrats attacked half of their voters. God, what's the word that Hillary used? The deplorables. And then you've got the crazy right-wing MAGA group, the maggots, all that. That's the politicians actually referring to voters that way. Trump attacks the left-wing politicians. He even attacks the right wing. He attacks the establishment Republicans. Again, is Trump perfect? No. There's a lot of things I don't like right now. A lot. Still the better choice. A lot of things I don't like. So he says, this person says, I think the 10% on either side, far left, far right, are driving force to what has created the biggest political divide we have had in 70 years. Says the person creating divide in a friendship, which I will drop when it comes to in person. Like, I will drop this, but I think that it's important to dissect this conversation. I blame Trump for creating that and pandering to his audience, and that's where he said that all the the stuff that I just read. I said, I'm not missing the point, no offense. You are the far left Dem attack. Like, you are the person that you're saying is the 10% that you don't believe in. You are attacking not only just a random person on social media, you're attacking your friend. You were attacking me about MAGA stuff on a post that was not MAGA at all. At all. I haven't heard Trump talk about cloud seeding is bad. He's never said that. I was literally just having the discussion, and you brought up your belief in politics on it. You literally attacked me about MAGA stuff. I get your hate. You're totally allowed to have feelings towards Trump, but it's blinded from what is decent human communication. But it's blinded you from what is decent human communication. Your blind rage for Trump has made you act out in ways that you don't see. And then you go on to say it's not the voter, it's Trump. And then one sentence later, large portion of the voting population. That's attacking other Americans because you have a different political belief. And I said, and this is true, I have so many gay, Black, Mexican, Asian Trump supporters. Many more so than I am. So the fact that you feel that way puts this person on a superior plane. You believe that you know more, that he is hateful, racist, divisive, all the things. But then you say you don't condone that behavior. I'm sorry. Fact that you puts you on a superior plane, and that actually is the definition of being racist. That's racism, to think that you have a better knowledge of that person's own life. So hence diminishing responsibility. I hated to say it, but you are the 10%. And instead of taking responsibility, you actually are blaming Trump for the way that you believe. And that's the consistency in the argument. Blaming Trump for why I have distaste for Trump voters. You have free will. You have the responsibility in yourself to actually believe what you want to believe. And if you want to take hate and frustration in the other person, that's not on Trump. That's on you. That's on the individual. And this comes from the right too. If you hate Bernie Sanders, hate Kamala Harris, if you are choosing to hate the individual because of who they're voting for, saying they're divisive, Obama was divisive, all these things, and therefore I dislike Democrats. No. Talk to people, communicate, have the hard conversation, be willing to get dirty in the conversations, which goes back to my issue a couple weeks ago where I was told that I wasn't creating a safe space because I was simply firmly stating my facts. There is no safe space in conversation if you are starting the conversation. I pointed out all the things that was flat out wrong in what was said. And I will tell you, my minority friends have said that Obama, and this is true, my minority friends that have become more right wing have said that Obama is the most divisive president, that the most divisive figure they've had in a while because of what happened during his presidency in terms of race relations. Somebody asked me on a radio station this morning when I was doing an interview, like, why did I make the shift? And it was when I made the shift, it was really rooted around Michael Brown and the false narrative created with Hands Up, Don't Shoot, which never happened, that the media has still never backed down from, even though it was confirmed that wasn't the case. And that case alone made me realize what we don't see is truly the truth. And what we do see is often what is put in front of us to divide us as people. The media have created division like we have never seen because of the fact that it's a 24-hour news cycle and they feed off of it. Great quote. I'm going on way too long. Great quote from the Poop Cruise. If you guys watch that documentary on Netflix, is the news didn't want to carry it until they realized, oh my goodness, these people are standing in their own poop and all this stuff. It wasn't a story until it became so ridiculous that they knew that they would get viewers off of it. That's when it became a story. That's the same with all these other things. They create the narrative. And all I said was, I hope at one point you'll look back at this conversation and say, crap, what the hell was I thinking? Because it's so blatant to anybody that will take a step back that all of these things I'm trying to diffuse and just say, why you can't judge somebody else for their voting position. Which again, I've been told with what I'm doing in speaking and leadership and all these things to keep my mouth shut about politics. And I do for the most part. I keep it separate. If I have a rant, I keep it on a separate thing. But in my personal stuff, I keep it pretty straight laced. But sometimes like I can't be in good faith with who I am as a human, that is somebody that will never back down in conversation. To not speak my piece in this, I think is dangerous. I think it's unfair to who I am, to my constitution, to my faith in God, to not speak up for the fact that if you are somebody on the left that is still watching at 26 minutes from right now, or if you're even on the right, for the love of God, be decent to people. Be willing to have different conversations. I mean, watching, like, I was up just, and I'm like, and I wasn't even angry texting, because I've angry argued before. I'm literally having this conversation in shock. Like, if I was the aggressor in this conversation, I would be fired. I would be released from my position simply because I come from this side, which I'm allowed to. Like, I'm allowed to, until I start to demonize people or say I were to say some of these slurs or do something awful. I am allowed to vote a different way. And most people that know me know that I can articulate exactly why I vote. And I am as middle ground, even though I was called far right in this conversation. And then when I presented the fact that why I'm not far right, I was essentially slammed for saying, come on. Yeah, you are. I don't need to know that you're pro-choice or gay marriage. That's just you. No, that's my honest belief system, which therefore doesn't make me maybe the box image of what a Republican voter is. It's gross, man. And people really don't. I mean, a lot of you that follow me understand I've lost friendships. I've lost work. I've lost 6 figures of work for my belief systems, and the money is not as bad as some of the friendships. And it's mind-boggling. I repeat my one last thing. The day that I attended I will just say a major protest for my side. I think there's only been one. Just because I was there, I got completely removed from the friend group, got removed from the poker group, the digital poker group that we had, got unfriended by one of my closest friends, to never speak another word to this point. Tell me that's rational because I believe something different. Do you know how many of my friends went to a BLM rally that I have no issue talking to? And God forbid I talk about the fact that BLM was a completely corrupt organization that didn't give any money to Black people. Oh my goodness. God forbid I have that conversation. That's it. That's what I got for you guys today. There's some great comments. Justin said, the world lacks sympathy and compassion for others. People are living selfishly. People would rather blame others instead of owning their mistakes. Thank you for your comments. Jeanette, Mitzi, what's up? You comment, can we stop treating people like enemies? For thinking differently really says it all. To me, this is a huge problem in society today in life. This horrible tragedy, and honestly, in my own industry, the barrel racing industry, which spot on, Mitzi, is personally experienced hatefulness and the people just being plain ugly. If you dare think something differently or try to do something differently, it needs to stop, especially in that industry. I agree with you. That's what I got. Hopefully some of you that are interested in speaking will join me at doubledownspeaking.com Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Central, free speaking workshop. It's a lot of fun. If you want, we could practice rants. I mean, it's so interesting. Like, I love the individuals. I've become closer with some of the individuals that politically don't align with me in that class, and to think that I am this right winger is mind boggling. It's just frustrating. That's what I got. God bless, guys. Check out my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. All the stuff is there. Don't be a garbage human being. Don't surrender your pets. And God bless. Have a great rest of your day.